Back in June, I saw Jurassic World Dominion, so let's talk about it. The plot of Jurassic World Dominion goes like this. 4 years after the destruction of Island Bar, dinosaurs now live upon alongside humans all over the world. This fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are to remain the apex predators on the planet they now share with history's most fearsome creatures. So what did I think of Jurassic World Dominion? Well, I went into this film with a small bit of hope that it would be good. I mean, the idea of having the original Jurassic Park crew team up with the current Jurassic World characters sounded to me like a great and fun time. Fortunately, though, coming out of it, that was not the case. Now, I didn't think it was bad, but for what it was really mediocre. I'll start with a couple things that I did enjoy about the film. For starters, the action is great here, easily the best for me in the series. I think the dinosaur scenes are very well done. The visual effects here are also the best in the series for me, and I think they are very well done as well. There were also a few charming moments between the original Jurassic Park crew and the current Jurassic World characters that made me laugh. Finally, there were also a few heartwarming moments, with the biggest for me, and this is a spoiler, being the scene at the end where Alan and Ellie finally get together and kiss, which to me was very heartwarming since I believe they had always deserved to be together to begin with. But that's all the positives that I have with this film. So now let's get down to the things that I didn't like about it. For starters, I found the chemistry between the original Jurassic Park crew and the current Jurassic World characters to be really dull and boring, which was honestly the thing that I was the most worried about going into this. I know I said before that there were a few charming moments between them, but that doesn't mean their entire chemistry is great, as the rest of it, like I just said, was very dull, boring, and forgettable. I also found the new characters that they introduced to be very forgettable and uninteresting. I don't even remember their names if they're that forgettable. I also found this film to be kind of boring. Not incredibly boring, but still boring in a few parts. The climax was also something that didn't really stick with me, even if it had great action and visual effects. Because like I said before, I found the chemistry between the characters to be very dull, and I didn't really feel anything for them during the climax, or hell, at any point in the film, except for the few charming moments between them and the heartwarming moments that I mentioned before. I also thought that it was somewhat poorly set up at one part, which was when the Jurassic Park characters met the Jurassic World characters for the first time. This happens a little bit before the climax or final battle of the film, which if that's the case, then that's when you know it's poorly set up. To have the characters meet for the first time that late into the film is really weak. And it's a really weak thing for this film to do, and other than the dull chemistry between the characters, this is the worst thing I found about this film. Overall, Jurassic World Dominion was to me an incredibly disappointing conclusion to the Jurassic World trilogy, and a film that deserved to be so much better. Sure, the film has some good things about it, like the great action, great visual effects, a few charming moments between characters, and a few heartwarming scenes that made me smile. But the film suffers from viewpoints that I found boring, new characters that were very forgettable for me, a climax that didn't make me feel anything for the characters, even with its great action and visual effects, and worst of all, having a poorly set up first interaction with the characters and an incredibly dull chemistry between them. If you're a Jurassic Park fan and really excited to see this film, which I would think you would be, well, I can't stop you, but I can recommend that you go in with pretty low expectations. Jurassic World Dominion was not a bad film for me, but it was a very mediocre conclusion that deserved to be so much better than what I got from it. Overall, I'm giving this film a 2.5 out of 5.